I just meant no, the chocolate bar.
Well, that'll teach you to leave it in and let the chocolate melt. Oh, we're live. Anyway, we are back. Sorry we went on last week. Just young Mr. Freddie. Young Mr. Freddie. He'd had his tonsils and his adenoids out, so he wasn't very well. And to be honest, I was feeling that poop. So I needed a bit of a break. Mr. Joshua is not feeling too good, so he is not with us tonight. But you've got myself and Wayne. I'll just make sure we are going out there. Yes, we are. Right, okay. So anyway, how the very devil are you? How is everybody? You guys watching, how are you? Join us in the chat room. You're more than welcome to throw any questions at us. Just don't throw shade at us, so I'll tell you that. How are you?
I just need to help share things out. Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Been very busy, but other than that, we're getting there.
Good.
Oh.
In other news, I've had my new leg sorted, and it's going to be delivered, and it's going to look like the cover of a Star Wars, what do you call them? Graphic novel.
Cool.
I'll take a picture and send it to you when it arrives. But it's going to look.
You've got it, mate.
One thing I do want to talk about today, and because we know when we talk about our usual nonsense and money-grabbing MPs and UFOs and cryptozoology and conspiracy theories and all that kind of stuff, but today I want to talk about all the... See? Every time the cat walks past, she wobbles the camera. You've eaten all the cake. Yeah, I want to talk about all the missing scientists and UFOs.
Yes.
And UFOs. Missing scientists, UFO hunters, people who got close to the roof and ended up deaded. So,
yes, very strange circumstances going on there.
Very strange circumstances. And if you check your thing, I sent you a list with all the different people on. I've been checking into it, and it's been going back as far as 47. Anybody that got close to these things and said, well, we need to let the people know, have vanished and disappeared. So we will talk about that in a minute. But and what was one of the things I read? The nylon haired what's it looking person over in America has upped the ante with the UFO stuff and turned around to all his staff and things and said, we're going to do it very, very soon. Get your shit together, get it ready, we're doing it. And they're all running like headless chickens going, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this. And he's going, I fucking care. So as much as he is a bit of a fucking orange-haired tool that people tend to make fishing flies out of his hair, let's hope he actually sticks with this and does it before his term finishes. That's all I say. Because the knobhead over here ain't going to do it, because he's about as honest as...
Yeah.
So there we go. But anyway, so yes, apart from that, before we move on, what have you been getting up to?
I've mainly been working on my garage, turning it into a bedroom. So I've been sealing off the garage door, putting in a new window and door, a new floor, and then next week starting on the wall and the walls and the ceiling.
Did you finally get your swing put up?
Sorry?
Did you finally get your sex swing put up for your balls?
I'll be the punch bag. But yeah, it's been quite busy. Obviously, with Freddie having his adenoids and tonsils taken out. A lot of things I've been doing over the last couple of weeks now have all been centered around him, and making sure he's fine. Which is really weird because he's got a really squeaky voice at the moment.
Well, he's going to, but when he's older, hopefully his balls will drop and oh, Dad.
It's quite funny because he comes in and it's like, oh, Bubbles, and you're like, what? It's quite funny, but yeah, I mean, a lot of what I've been doing over the last week also has been concentrating on getting the conversion done because me and Ellen have had enough now. It's been 8 years since we've had our own space. Sorry?
Getting the conversion done. You're going to be Mormons? Jehovah's Witness.
Converting the garage.
Oh, the garage is going to be Catholic?
Yeah, it's the first time in 8 years that me and Ellen will have time to ourselves and a space to ourselves.
Yeah, but we know what happens every time you have time and space to yourselves. You pop a kid out. The fuck?
No, that ain't happening.
You had enough of you.
Yep. I'm done with children now. That's it.
Yeah. I think as much as
this lot can grow up and move out, and that's it. I don't care anymore. I don't want any more.
Well, we're on our own now. Abby and Dan finally moved out into their house, and they've got almost all the rooms done. So they moved out and they're in their place now, and we're just starting to get the place done how we want it here, and it's very quiet but very peaceful.
Which is what you want.
Very peaceful. It's quite good.
So I'm looking forward to getting it all finished. But problem is that once I've finished this room, I've then got all the kids about. So I've got to redecorate all of the bedrooms because everyone's moving into a different room.
Oh, how's Ethan?
He's doing really well. He recovered phenomenally. I've never known anything like it. Within 5 days, he was walking about without crutches. He'd stopped taking the medication that he was needing for pain relief after 3 days. And it's almost like nothing ever happened.
Nice one, and he's back up, feet on the floor, everything.
Yeah, he's keeping his right foot down and it's straight. He's back at college doing his mechanics course.
Oh, well done.
He's going great guns, and he's been accepted for the second year as well. So, although he was off for 6 weeks, he's managed to catch up with everything.
Nice one, well done to him. I was told last Wednesday I've got to have this knee replaced, this knee possibly replaced, and this fucking elbow replaced because Taylor May smashed it about 10 years ago. To be fair, I was teaching the kickboxing at the time, and it was an accident, but yeah, it pops out of place all the time. Yeah, so that's all going to be interesting, but it won't be till after the wedding, so it won't be till either the end of the year or next year. So thank God. But anyway, yes, these people who go strangely missing. Let's just put it out there, because I've been watching a load of things and following a few things, and it's one of the ones I follow on TikTok is Nightly Discussion, and he knows his shit, and he speaks it like we do as well, and it's like all these people going missing, and it's not just USA. Other countries in the last 2 weeks have come forward, including Russia, China, some UK people, although you got the knobheads in charge over again. Don't know what you're on about, bloody hell, Yes, my Prime Minister. But all these countries are coming forward and saying all of their top ones, top scientists, engineers, who said we need to disclose this, we need the people to know, have all suddenly had cases of wandering off into the a deep blue unknown and never being seen again, or winding up deaded, or suicide, or
Yeah.
and I will say that we are selling you information that is already out there in the internet, available to others. I have no suicidal tendencies and don't want to be deaded, and neither does young Wayne there. He doesn't have any suicidal tendencies, so God forbid anything happens to us. You know, it wasn't us, and you need to know it needs to be looked into. But anyway, we're not rocket scientists. I think we're all right. But I've been looking into it, and way back when, just I think, was it 2 months? I think it was 2 months after the Roswell crash. One of them vanished, and he was one of the ones who wanted everybody to know all about it. But recently, I'm going to go into the very recent ones. Frank Maywald, he was a researcher in NASA's Jet Propulsion Lab. He died on 4th of July, Independence Day, 2024. He specialised in space research, and no official report or cause of death has ever been released. Just all they said was, yeah, he's dead. Just dead. And his family said, that should not have happened. So that's very, very, very strange. He was a technical group supervisor and contributed to various significant projects such as AMR, SWAT, whatever those are, whatever that is, and AMR Jackson 3, and Hi-Fi. On February the 16th this year, Carl Grillmeyer, I don't know if you remember this one in the news, was shot to death on his front porch. He was an astrophysicist at Caltech who collaborated with NASA and found water around exoplanets. He was known for his work on collisions of galaxies and his search for water outside of our solar system. No clear motive to his death. Bullshit. Detectives arrested Freddie Schneider later that day for carjacking and connected him to the death. Although the detective believes two men didn't even know each other. So there are more, but I won't go into them just yet. Those two alone. Nobody knows the cause of death for the first one. And then people go, yeah, he didn't. No, he didn't. Yeah, he did it. No, he didn't.
Yeah, I mean, it's again, it's what we've said before about the information goes out there and you get the truthful information getting merged with the lies and propaganda to try and throw you away from the subject.
Oh yeah.
And it's I mean, like for the last couple of days, I've been seeing stuff about Amy Eskridge. Now, she was the first of the batch of 11 to go missing, to go disappear. She was back in 2022. But she had already warned that her and her team were being harassed and were being told to stop her work on anti-gravity and exotic physics. So, you know, for all of a sudden for her to go missing and then turning up dead, they claimed it was or the authorities claimed it was a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
I saw the video she did, and I think it was done. Was it done the day before?
I think it was the day before.
She stated, I'm not suicidal. I have no thoughts in killing myself. I'm shitting myself because they want me not to tell the truth. They've already warned me. They've already threatened me. They've threatened my family. We fucking know. All of us in the UFO community know exactly what is going on, why it's going on. It's because the truth is coming out, and the black ops, the black sites, do not want this truth coming out. And we all know the black sites are tied in with other giants, Boeing, and things like that. You know, and we all know what's going on. We all know they're being taken out, and this is way above Trump, things like that. You know, and you think there isn't anybody above the head of the country. It fucking is. And you've got all these black. You even have a black pope, and by that I don't mean one that goes, "Whoa, lordy." I mean one that is not a very nice pope. So, and it's all well known. That was a racist joke, but it was meant to put it in context, so don't all get bent out of shape. Oh, thank you, Willie. But yeah, there's all this going on. There's so much stuff going on, and all these people are disappearing, and they're all stating to either their friends or relatives, or they're putting videos out there saying, "Not suicidal. I'm not ill. Got no thoughts of killing myself. These people have been threatening me," and then all of a sudden they either disappear or they end up deaded by suicided. didn't happen,
Yeah.
did. You know?
I mean, I heard a video earlier on about some of these people were taken up in Artemis 2, and part of one of the things they were doing was disposing of the bodies on the moon.
That's different to what I heard. Okay. The bodies were put in Artemis 2 and it was taken up, and that's why. Is that why all the cameras shut down and it looks so blotchy in AI?
Well, if there's no evidence, there can't be there can't be a murder scene, there can't be a crime committed because there's no body. You know, can you imagine, like with Carl Grillmare? You know, are the police from his area going to actually go up there and try looking for his body? The answer is no, they're not. Any of those 11 people, if their bodies were up there, you're never going to find them. No chance.
Well, the only people that know those bodies are up there are A, the ones that took them up there, and B, the ones who are already on the top secret bases that are up there and have been since the 60s, I believe. So, yeah. And again, that's not conspiracy theory. It's not crackpot tinfoil hat wearing theory. It's out there. You just need to know where to look for it.
I mean, I had seen the other video. I had seen the other video about that these people were actually up there going to that base.
Yeah.
But it would, I suppose, if that is a conspiracy theory, that would hold a lot of weight if it matches with conspiracy theory about a base already being on the moon. Yeah. Because all of those scientists all had something to do with future space travel, jet propulsion systems, and physics. All of these people had something to do with whatever it would be in the future to travel in space.
Finding a re-sustainable, if you want, source of water that you can find in ice-bound planets and get it hauled back to there.
So all these scientists were responsible for something to do, which potentially could have something to do with a base on the moon. You need people to maintain it. You need people to do the experiments and to test the waters to see whether a colony is possible.
Yeah. And look, dudette. Can you
I mean, okay, some of these have some of these people have actually turned up dead, but it could be because they've surpassed their usefulness.
I think a lot of them have reached their usefulness. However, they were deemed to be people that would talk and not stick to NDAs. I understand when you work in certain jobs and certain things need to be kept quiet. However, when disclosures got to this, everybody knows they're here. Everybody knows they're here.
Yeah, it's when you combine everything together, the timelines all work out. Everything all fits into place. Yeah. You know, we're all calling for disclosure. Trump's saying there's going to be disclosure. Well, you can't disclose information that has been destroyed. You can't disclose whistleblowers if they're not alive anymore.
The thing that gets me, which I find very strange, is how come it's one country that's saying, yeah, there will be disclosure, and all the other countries are going, well, we're not going to do anything till they do it. Why can't the other countries go, right, fine, let's fucking beat them to it? Russia, China, etc.
I don't know. I wonder whether they've been told that we're not ready for that information quite yet, and so they're deliberately holding back until the time is right. Or could they be saying, well, we're not saying nothing until they say something? Or, you know, say for instance, we won't say nothing until America says something. Belgium won't say nothing until China says something, or China won't say this until Japan says that. I think it's, you know, there's so many different possibilities that it could be as to why disclosure hasn't been given out. And it's like we've been saying with the drip feeding and things like Spielberg's new movie. Are they just constantly drip feeding it into us until we accept it, until they think then we're ready for it? And then all of a sudden go, oof, there you go.
I personally think it's from a political power standpoint. If one country comes forward, or a little country comes forward, and the others haven't done it yet, they're going to say, you don't know what you're talking about. You're full of shit, mate. But if USA says it, then the others can't really say, yeah, you're full of shit, mate, because they go, well, fuck off. We're way bigger than you.
If you put it into context, look at what would happen to the Bobbermans if it was revealed there was something out there that was more intelligent than us.
Of course there is.
You know, and capable technology-wise of doing anything they wanted, and we'd just be swatted away like flies. How much the government, the Bobbermans of the world, would lose power over the people if something like this came out.
Just going to get my baseball cap because look at this fucking shiny shirt.
It's not shiny. Stop worrying about it.
I can do what that copper does. Hang on.
What you want to do is now it's shiny. You know what you want to do, don't you?
What's that?
A little touch of talcum powder. Stop it reflecting.
Good job. I was going to shave my head, and I thought, no, I won't yet because it'll make it way too shiny. Anyway, yes, I think it's a political jockeying. Well, let's wait, because otherwise we are going to. It's been drip fed to us for years, starting with the War of the Worlds.
Oh, Gary, hope you're well, mate.
I reckon in War of the Worlds, H.G. Wells and all that lot, I think they all had a modicum of truth in everything that they said. And they do say that for every single book that's been written, somewhere in the multiverse, that goes on.
Yeah.
So somewhere in the multiverse, we have superheroes.
Well, I mean, you can go back even further than War of the Worlds with H.G. Wells, because the Black Knight had been seen in the sky back in the 1500s.
Yep, and if you watch Monty Python, he bites your knees.
Exactly. So, you know, there was something observed in space before we even learned how to fly.
Well, I think one of the first recorded incidents involving either a cryptid or aliens, is a monk who was one of the first guys to report Nessie. And that was something like the 7th century or 8th century, something like that. And this monk saw Nessie, and it wasn't just saw a little bit of a head or a ripple in the water, actually saw her completely out of water, all humps and everything, and described this thing that looked like a big horse's head. You know, and he described it swimming along, and it was, you know, but it was, I think, don't quote me on this, I think if my memory is right, there have been lots of reports about it. People thought it was a demon, and that's why the monk was called in to fuck it off out of it. Obviously, it wasn't a bloody demon. You know, there's so many things in this world that get misidentified. It's like angels and demons and shit like that, and higher powers and things. Yes, I do believe there is a higher power. I think you've got to be a mug to sit there and think there isn't. Gods and goddesses and things like that, I think they were real, but I don't think they were what we think they were. I don't think the Parthenon of the gods with the Celts, the Romans, the Greeks, the Druids, back. It was all the same Parthenon, but I don't think they're actually gods. I think they're Anunnaki, but they appeared in different guises to different nations as something they could understand, and with the tech they had, they were gods. But even the Anunnaki said if their god found out what they were doing, they'd be in for it. And that's written in the scrolls, and they state it. So, and there is an overwhelming thing that says there is a universal consciousness. So, and again, quantum is all to do with this. It all links up. This is why we link up to everything, and we can do this, that, and the other. But there is something higher than us. And I don't think that when you die, that's the end of it, because it makes no fucking point acquiring all this knowledge and then, you know. So,
yeah.
But I don't.
I mean, the idea is you pass on to the next generation.
Yeah.
But, you know, Yeah,
It's
I
like
mean, there's got to be.
perpetual recycling in reincarnation. I've read a lot into that. That like it's what do they call it? Trap reincarnation. If you go to light, you come back, but you don't know who you are, don't remember anything. And
Yeah.
then when you dies, you come back, you don't know who you are, don't remember. Makes no sense. Makes no sense to me.
It's like a big reset.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the interesting things that I've seen several times from several different people is you turn your back on the light and you say to the universe, I want to go home. And you get sent back to whichever plane, whichever planet, whatever being you were, your original. You go back to it and you remember everything. I'd far rather that. You know? And in amongst the alien fraternity, again, the ones that ascend, you have tests that you have to do to pass. And apparently the Earth test is the hardest one to do. And a lot of them don't like doing it. But again, it's all knowledge that's out there. You just need to go and read it. It's not me spouting madness. It's actually stuff that I've read. So whether it's true or not, don't know. But there's only one way we can ever find out. And if ever we get a way of coming back and going, I fucking told you, I will. Like me and Wayne and all the people in my life and me and Rachel and everything like that, we've known each other in previous existences. Because they do say that the ones you have close bonds with are all the people that you had with you in all your previous lives, and you've always been there for each other all the way through your lives. But it could be totally different. You could be a different sex. You could be a different age, different person. He could have been my mum. Rachel could have been.
Yeah.
I could have been a woman. Rachel could have been my boyfriend. Or my sister. Some weird shit like that. What the hell is going on right now? Okay. So yeah, and if you believe in all that stuff, it kind of makes sense. I believe in some of it I don't, some of it I do, some of it has a modicum of truth in it, some of it's,
Yeah.
But the same with UFOs when they explain about how they can go from point to point to point to point. What do you make of Bashar?
I think at the moment my verdict's out on him.
Same. I used to think, but then I saw an interview that was done with him, and it was like us. Wait, do you want to come on the show? And the guy was literally put on the spot and asked about this X, Y, Z, and he didn't hesitate. He just went bang, 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 and it wasn't stuff he'd been asked before. And it was that made me think, oh, because normally you can catch out frauds and bullshit artists and stuff like that.
Usually pretty quickly.
But he's always been quite spot on and out there with the stuff. But when he was asked, what was it to do with it? I think it was to do with like warp drive and getting from planet to planet to planet. And he just went bang, 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 bang. And he said, oh yeah, the thing was warp drive. He said, this is for terrestrial stuff and it's for your crafts and things like that. We don't do that. We go from planet to planet to planet. And then if we want to go from a planet on one galaxy to another one, we just go bang, 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 and we moved reality to there. And this, it was, I can't remember how he said it, but he said when you're outside of it and just want to go to the planet next door, that's when you use a craft and this, that, and the other. But he was saying for actual mass travel, massive travel, they just the thing exists. Say that's you and you want to go there, you will exist here. So you just need to make this place here know that this thing here is going to exist in that spot. And once you've figured out how to do that, you go bang, and you just appear there. And that's what they've been doing. Kind of roughly what you said, but again, it made a lot of sense when you listen to it. It's like, oh fucking hell,
Yeah, I mean there is. I'm sure it is on there. There is a series called Messages from Bashar. Messages from Bashar, the extraterrestrial.
It wasn't the one that's a talking bollock, is it? Messages from Bashar, the talking testicle.
No, there's an entire. It comes from Gaia.
Which guy?
But Amazon Video have got the first season on a free trial. So obviously, if you do the free trial, watch the series and then cancel the trial, you get to watch the whole first season. But
there's some interesting stuff on Gaia.
It's I have an hard on whether to sort of subscribe to it or not. I wasn't too sure whether to.
Gaia, I watched for a few months, and it's one of those. If you're single and on your own and not got a lot to do, you can binge watch it, and you get some incredible facts and stuff from it, and some stuff that genuinely you go, whoa. But if you haven't got the time, or you're busy, you got work, and you got this, that, and the other, it's a bit of a waste of money otherwise. Only watch it now and again, Why are you closing the door? I know I'm loud. It's my gob. That's where I learned about the in-depth stuff. I'd heard whispers about the Nazca lines and the base underneath and everything, and I was like always skeptical about it. And then I watched some of the stuff on Gaia, and I was like, fuck no, And some of them, I will say, a lot of the people interviewed half come across as there's something there. There is something in what they're saying, and there's the odd one or several that come across as what. Stop fucking doing that! There's the odd few that come across as just batshit, absolutely batshit. But as I say, there's a lot more that go on there that are oh. So yeah, it is worth watching.
The problem is, if you've got someone that stands there and says, I get messages from someone from planet whatever, you're always going to get other people that will turn around and go, don't talk bollocks. It's all crap. What you're talking about. And they then try to persuade everybody else that this bloke is a lunatic.
But it's the same as I'm going to feed the cat because she is not going to leave the fucking camera alone. Yeah, there is that. Look, watch. See? Right, come here, Lilo, come here. Lilo. Right, you get your up. No, there, idiot. They come from other planets, I'm telling you. Oh, I'm just going to recline. Come down here. Right, yeah. If you think about it, again, something that I wanted to talk about, because we'll get back to the missing people in a bit, because you know what this show's like. One of the things I've been thinking about is these people at Channel, these people that do Channel, and there was the likes of was it Price? Was it not Edgar Case, and people like that, and they can then access the vault where all the knowledge is, and this, that, and the other, and the gatekeepers and all this stuff. Is it the same people? And also, when people were channeling back when the papacy had control over everything, and they could throw in the Spanish Inquisition, this, that, and the other, were a lot of the people that were burned as heretics and tortured and killed, were they actually just channeling? That's an interesting.
Exactly.
Because a lot of them say they were speaking in different languages. They were speaking in tongues. If it's an alien language and we don't know what the fuck it is, I do believe there's good and bad in everything. Yeah, but I do think that a lot of demons and angel sightings aren't that. I think it's warring. And then we've said before several times, it's aliens that have come down here, aliens, and they're having a scrap. They're doing horrible things to us because they don't like us, because we're the good ones like us and want us to succeed. So they want us wiped out, and they don't agree with the good ones liking us. So they scrap with their own kind, and there's good and bad. And that's what's written down in all the scrolls about the Anunnaki as well.
And again, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of it sort of centers around the loss of control, the loss of money. If things like this were to be revealed, how much the bottomance of the world would lose, religion would lose so much, and everything would just basically fall apart around our ears for the people that control these resources. So all these big oil companies will go down the pan because there would be zero income from energy because it's free. And if this was to become a global thing, things like petroleum and electricity and all this stuff would be generated free of charge, and you couldn't charge for it because every household would be able to do it off their own backs.
Needs to be done because the energy giants are greedy vampires that are bleeding the world dry. Look at this with the Strait of whatever the Strait of Hormuz, Horror, whatever the fuck it is.
Hormuz.
Hormuz, and was it 5% of the world's fuel oil was
20% of the Asian fuel comes through the Strait of Hormuz.
So then, if it's Asian fuel, why the fuck are they over here going? Oh, let's put the fuel right up.
Exactly, and I've said it myself that yeah, okay, it's 20%, but what about the other 80%? You know, we've got our own gas, we've got our own oil fields, and we're not drilling them. If we were to do that, then not only would it create jobs, it would also be able to provide a source of income for this country because we'd be able to sell excess.
But it's the bobberments of
But
the
they won't
world
do it.
uniting together and saying, let's do this and let's do that. You can make some money, we can make some money. Oh, thank you very much. Yes. We all know they're corrupt as fuck.
But I saw a guy the other day. He turned around and he said, "What it is it's Donald Trump flexing his muscles and saying, right, we're going to do this, and you'll buy our oil as a result."
Yep, and it's Big Brother. Big Brother. The fact that it's one country, let it, and everyone else is let this country, not the people. Just one man with nylon hair say, "Let's do this, let's do that." It's fucking stopping a knob. It all comes down to that, and the energy giants are fucking laughing their tits off. They're lining their pockets. There's probably a deal there somewhere. Probably a deal with Trump somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's wrong. It's wrong. We've been screwed by the governments for too long, far too long. Especially, like I'd say, the last 70 years, we've been absolutely raped by them, and it's got to the point. Done. Now you've got that idiot Keir Starmer putting that other idiot in as the ambassador in Washington, wasn't it? And he had a criminal record. He fucking knew. And he stands up there, I didn't know anything about bollocks, mate. You lie. And the thing is, this guy was supposed to be a Chief Justice. Now he's taken it, and he's taken his sights to our veterans, and he's going after them for war crimes, which were orders that were given to them by their superior officers, that were handed down to them by their superior officers. And now this knobhead's going after them and calling them war crimes. He is a disgusting piece of crap. He is a complete traitor to this country, and he should not be in power. End of discussion.
He shouldn't even be called sir.
No, he should not. He should be stripped of all his fucking titles, and he shouldn't even. Man's a piece of crap. Absolute piece of crap. Sorry. Free speech, and yet you have everybody arrested for they dare say anything, and yet it's written in the Constitution, free speech. You're going against the Constitution, not the Constitution, the Magna Carta and all that lot. So how can you dictate that? Yeah, it clearly says that.
Exactly.
You know, absolutely.
I mean, that's why they keep trying to chop and change councils about. I mean, we've in the east of England, we've got, I think it's Norfolk, Suffolk, and Essex are being merged into one big council.
How the fuck can you put Norfolk and Essex together?
Yeah, they were trying to put Essex and Suffolk. I mean, we've already got an NHS health authority is the North Essex and Suffolk Health Authority. So they thought it'd be a good idea to try and do the same with the counties as well. So they were trying to centralise all three counties in one go. And I think at one point they were going to try and put Bedfordshire in it as well. And they said, well, it's not going to work.
Of London.
And then they went, do you know what? What we'll do is we'll stick everything in under one council. So now Essex County Council will be able to run all of the boroughs rather than just certain aspects. So we're all like, well, hang on a minute. How can you have Essex County Council could be, say, I don't know, £270 million in debt, and Suffolk County Council could be £160 million in profit. And if you turn it into one big multi-council, Suffolk are going to have to bear the burden of the debt of Essex.
We all know that certain high up councillors, little brown envelopes, you know, that's all I'll say. Little brown envelopes. We all know that. Happens here in North Yorkshire. So, and it's known.
Well,
for
there's been a lot of Labour councillors have been found out for spying on Reform councillors' offices. They've been putting hidden cameras and speakers and shit in their meeting rooms.
The worst thing that ever happened was politicians and politics. It shouldn't be a thing anymore. You know, councils are just an offshoot of politicians, councillors, this, that, and the other. They're all as bad as each other. They're all fucking lie through their teeth. I've been reading so many things that have stated that this idiot that's in now is the most hated, detested prime minister that's ever been. Ever been.
The worst in British history.
Just gets better and better and better and better, you know? Get rid of the whole fucking lot. No Labour, no Tories.
And then you've got the funny one is the Green Party, Polanski. He is hilarious because he wants to legalise so many things that everybody disagrees with, and yet people are like, "Oh, I'm going to vote for the Green Party," and I'm like, "No." I had one turn up on my front door, and I said, "I'm sorry, I could not vote. I could not vote for somebody who thinks hypnotism would increase someone's breast size. No way."
Mate, if hypnotism increased at any size, I'd have a huge penis. It doesn't work.
And he actually tried to defend himself and say that he never said that, and yet there was video evidence of him saying it.
They all do it. They all sit there and go, I didn't do this, I didn't do that, I didn't do that. Well, you were on an interview saying this. Look, I don't you remember, you know? He
claimed it was taken out of context. And like, how can you take that out of context? You point blank said that you would charge people to hypnotise them and change their breast size. And he went, I never said that. What I did say was I can hypnotise somebody, and one particular lady said that her chest fitted tightly into the bra that she had, which meant her breasts had enlarged. And they went, "Is that not the same thing?" He went, "No, it's not."
None of them could tell the truth. And we've got a guy here that turns against his own military. He wants to bring the military back. He fucked the military. All the Tories over the last fucking God knows how many years, and the Labour fucked the military, made it down. Now we're clearly open to other countries. We don't have enough military. Now they're going, shit. We need to recruit. Why would you want to be in the military anymore? I loved the stuff I did. I don't want to be back in it. Why would you want to be in the military when you got the likes of that prick in charge of our country going after all our veterans saying you're war criminals when they fucking are?
And when it's made public information that that's what he's doing, who would in their right frame of mind would turn around and go, "Oh, I'm going to go back. I'll go and join the army," knowing full well that in 30, 40 years' time, the police could come knocking on your door with a court summons for you to attend court for war crimes.
Yeah, there's no, I mean, like I say, I'm very proud of what I did, love what I did. There's no way I'd go back. Not now. Fuck you. No. And a lot of people I've spoken to who are veterans and stuff, they've all turned around and said the same thing. They haven't got a country worth fighting for anymore. And it's very, very true. And this idiot wants Sharia law in our country. Do the countries that have Sharia law over there, do they have our laws over there? For us people that live in those countries? No, they fucking don't. They have Sharia law.
I think if we were to try and go to these countries and try and introduce a normal law like we have here over there, we would end up in prison and be deported pretty quickly.
Yeah. But that idiot that's in charge now wants this and he wants that, and fuck off. Him and the knobhead who's the mayor of London. The one who likes knocking down churches and putting mosques there and stuff, you know, that asshole. Don't get me wrong, I am not Muslim bashing or anything, because I've got a lot of friends that are Muslim, but the ones that are in charge and they're trying to do this and they're trying to do that, no. If you accept these things in your own countries, like you're doing here, and you accept like our laws and our stuff in your countries, which is only fair, like you want us to have this and want us to have that, that's fine, then you can have our version of it and our version of that. If you don't, fuck off. It's true. It's not. I'm not bashing any religion. I'm literally saying, you want something good, you have ours.
I mean, you go anywhere in the world and you're expected to fit into their society and follow their laws.
Yeah.
point blank. So if you come over here, you should be doing the same as what you expect us to do over there.
Yeah, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. You've got that knobhead bending over and letting everybody shaft him. So got no time for him. The most hated man, the most hated prime minister there's ever been, and this guy's going at, and he was mates with Jimmy Savile, for fuck's sake, and he's going after the likes of our troops, and it's his thing that he likes doing, is going after troops.
Yeah. It doesn't give anybody an incentive to defend our country.
Yeah.
And if God forbid it happened, people will just turn around and say, well, you better start conscripting then, because I don't think you'll get anybody wanting to volunteer.
The best army over here would be the ones, if we get invaded over here, you get all the locals who will just go, right, let's fucking do this. And they would.
You would. You'll have
the country, they'd be doing it for their individual towns.
Yeah, you'll have a people's army. You won't have a national army or air force or a navy. You will have a people's army. It will be a civil war all over again.
Surprised that hasn't
happened. And you'll find that a lot of the military would probably be on the people's side.
Yeah, the only ones who would stick up for the government, and again, this is being in the know, are the ones that blindly follow orders no matter what they are. And nowadays you don't really get that. You'll get the odd one, but you will get people. I used to question orders. You get people now that will question, say, really? Are you sure about that? You won't get the ones that'll just go, yeah, okay, yes sir, no sir, fuck off. No. You got people who've got a brain now.
Yeah.
And by that, I mean the officers that don't just go, yes, you will do this, otherwise I will shoot you, like they did in the First and Second World Wars. Now they go, well, do you know what? You're right. Let's have a look into this. You do get a lot, and I know a lot of them.
My God. What is it? Monty Python. Do you remember that with the drill square?
Yeah. Oh!
Is there anything else that you would like to do instead of marching up and down the parade square? Well, I was thinking of going to the cinema side. Right, off you go then.
Yeah. Do you remember
absolutely. I love that sketch. They're all standing there on the parade square, and he was giving them a bollocking, saying about what else would you rather be doing instead of being on parade and doing drill for the next hour or so. And they were going, I was thinking of spending some time with the missus. So he lets him go.
Yeah.
Then another one turns around and says, well, I was going to go to the cinema, so he lets him go as well. And in the end, it's just him on his own marching backwards and forwards across the parade square.
Do you remember them? The one where they were like, "Oh, Sergeant."
Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny as well. But yeah, the military as a whole is a really good place to go and learn a trade, camaraderie, friendship, family.
Yeah.
However, the majority of service personnel as a whole will question things and will not blindly go, "Oh yeah, let's just do this." They won't. You sure about that? Because if you do this, that's going to happen, and if that happens, we're fucked.
Yeah, and it's been going downhill since the late 80s into the 90s. That's when it all started to crumble.
Yep, strict the budget. Close this, close that. Look at my lot, light infantry, and then they're now the rifles, and there's no separate one, and they had such a checkered.
The problem is part of that was caused by what was the EEC then turning into the EU. They turned around and said, your armed forces are too big. You need to reduce them. Because that's why I got made redundant from the Royal Air Force.
Yeah.
So, of course, the government then turned around and went, oh, well, how much do you think we need to reduce our military by? And they just went, you need to reduce it by X amount. And they went, right. Let's have a look. We can reduce the Navy by this much, reduce the Air Force by this much, reduce the Army by this much. And then that was it. All new recruits were made redundant, and then they slowly worked their way up.
Yeah.
Absolutely battered the armed forces. Yep. And now all of a sudden we're sitting back and going, oh, do you know what? We ain't got enough armed forces to defend our country if something happens.
Yeah, and then you got the likes of that fucking idiot in charge of our country now going, After after the very people you want to have your back. Prick.
Yeah.
Absolute prick. He's got no respect for anybody apart from the almighty pound. That's it.
Yeah.
All he cares about is lining his own fucking pockets and how he looks. He's a travesty. He's a disgusting human being, and he should not be in charge of this country. None of them.
I mean, there's an Essex County Council councillor who is earning £80,000 a year more than the Prime Minister is. There should be nobody.
No.
There should be nobody within politics should be earning more than the Prime Minister.
There should be a set wage, regardless of what your position is. There should be a set wage. Yeah. You can't go. The money should come back into the country, not into their fucking pockets. Yeah. There should be no deals. It should be completely illegal. Anybody gets found out with hedge funds or dealing or insider trading or little brown envelopes, stuff like that, out, gone, prison term. No question asked. Prison term. That includes energy giants, everybody, all the ones who in the government who are family in the energy giants and motoring firms and this, that, and the other. When it's blatantly obvious what's going on, they should all be like out, gone. This is what I mean. There should be no governments. It's crap. It's absolute horseshit. Absolute horseshit now. There should be like one world government, I think, but part of the Galactic Alliance. And I've always said that. These guys, if they can live peacefully with lots and lots of other planets, and they've got the other planets to abide by the same rules and this, that, and the other, needs to happen here. Because the pricks we got in charge just want to see us all go to hell in a handbasket. Anyway, I can't stand the government. I'm sorry, can't stand them.
That was a nice 25-minute rant.
Yeah, but we got it off our chest, didn't we?
We can't have a good show without a 20-minute rant.
No, you can't. I was going to count one of the ones I will talk about before we disappear. What was the name? Was it this one? Yeah, Monica Jacinto Reza. June the 22nd last year, she was on a hike. She was 30 feet behind her friend, right? And she worked on burn-resistant and high-strength metal alloys, and she had connections with the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. She was 30 feet behind her colleagues and her friends who were on the hike with her. And she was smiling, laughing, having a joke with them. They literally were turning around every few seconds. They turn around, gone. Nobody's ever been found. How did that happen?
Coincidence.
And
there was a rather large mountain lion grabbed her silently and dragged her off into the woods.
All these people have all openly said, we need disclosure. All these people have openly said the truth needs to come out. And most of these people knew each other, intermingled with each other, and worked on the same projects. You do the maths together. We all fucking know what's going on.
They're working their way through them. Eventually, there'll be nobody left to argue with.
But that is a really dumb way of dealing with shit.
Yeah, but sometimes I think that's practically the only way they think they can resolve the situation.
It's dumb as shit because the real high up ones have got the like dead man's trigger.
Exactly. If you
do the wrong one, it's out there.
If you've got information that could change the world, i.e. either technology or another race coming to this planet, you'd got that information and you all about it, you would do something so that if anything happened to you, this information would automatically get released. And you would have so many different methods and ways of getting that information out there upon your demise that it would have made no difference.
I either had something to measure my pulse or an implant, and as soon as it registered my pulse had stopped, it triggered and it went.
Yeah.
But that's for another day. Let's talk about this next Monday. We will be back again next Monday. Hopefully, Mr. Josh will be with us. I'm sorry for the long slating of the government, but fuck me, they are taking the piss. So anyway, remember, keep your eyes peeled, keep sending us emails. If you look down below, the Dark Mirror Radio Show at yahoo.co.uk, is it? Or is it .com? I can never, ever remember. Let me have a look. Please email us.
I think you said .com.
The Dark Mirror Radio
Show
at yahoo.co.uk. There you go. email us at that, or just get hold of us on Facebook or whatever. Or if you know where I work, come see me there, and we can talk about it. Or if you know where Wayne is, come talk to Wayne. So for now, bye from me, bye from Mr. Wayne,
Doodles.
and bye from Lilo the cat, who keeps doing wobbly cam. She's happy now. She's eating. She's curled up. Look. Hang on.
Oh, she's eating and she's happy.
Yeah, she's snoring and farting. She's all right. So I will see you guys next week. Oh, and I think I'm going to do a bit of deep diving into certain things. We will talk about them next week. So for now, I would say toodles, and we'll see you soon. Bye bye. And
Ciao for now.
Mate, we out of here.